Hello, good morning, everyone. Adrian Tepes here, and this is another episode of Whatever Happens to the Game. And today we're talking a little bit more about Halo. We are talking about the Halo movies that came as a spin-off to the actual uh, games. And a lot of these were promotional material for the games, and some of them were supplemental. Um, and some of them, like Halo Legends, I enjoy quite a bit as an example, similar to the Animatrix, where they take together a number of animated episodes that range from parody to actual story events between the games, and which I very much enjoy. And there's also Halo: The Fall of Reach, which is a prequel to the original Halo Combat Evolved. Now, as we go on, I first want to just talk about the news of what is coming up over on my channel. So later this afternoon, I'm going to be going live with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'll also be playing next week. I'll be going to Skies of Arcadia. And December, I'm going to be going live with Lord of the Rings gameplay. December was the traditional month in which Lord of the Rings games, or not games, but rather the Lord of the Rings films came out in theaters. And so to celebrate Lord of the Rings, I still do, as a fan of Lord of the Rings myself, I'm going to be continuing playing the games each December live stream. So if you enjoy Lord of the Rings, I'm going to go and play those games, and it's going to be pretty fun. But later today, I'm going to be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, this little thumbnail I have for Symphony of the Night, I was inspired to make it based on the VHS cover for the Star Wars film Return of the Jedi. As you can see right here, you have Alucard on the right, like you had Luke on the right with his lightsaber. It's Alucard with his sword. Just like you had Leia in the center, although a little less revealing in her attire. There's Mira Menard. And I have Dracula's face positioned similar to how Darth Vader's face was positioned on the cover, as well as Castlevania, the titular castle of Count Dracula, in the background. So I'm going to be going and drawing up. I'm going to be drawing up the VHS cover that inspired this. Actually, I have it right here. Let's see right here. Okay, I'm going to get this thing up. Here. So here you can see it, Turn of the Jedi. So that's what inspired me to go do this Symphony of the Night thumbnail. But I'm not going to be staying too long on what's coming up next before I go into what I'm going to be showing for the Halo films. So right here, I was going to say I recommend the following controllers for PC gaming. I need to update this a little bit because apparently the Nintendo Switch controllers also work as well. But so far, the DualShock or DualSense brand of PlayStation controllers for PS4, they work just great. And so does Xbox controllers for Series S and X. Welcome, Albeleo. I know I get started already, but welcome, and welcome. So I'm on recommending my controllers, and you didn't miss anything from the main part. I was talking about how I got my idea for the Symphony Night thumbnail from the Return of the Jedi VHS cover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Actually, I can go back a slide and show it to you here. So I don't know if you knew about the 1990 VHS cover for Return of the Jedi, but everything's the way it is. So I have Dracula where Darth Vader was supposed to be, the castle of Count Dracula or Castlevania in the middle, like the Death Star. Maria Orleo.
Oh, I see it. I see the design. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Hey.
I don't blame you. It's been a busy week. So here we are. Previously, we had Whatever Happened to Halo 2. And as for Albeleo, he recently came out with his review and analysis of Joker Folie à Deux. So I feel it's one of your better ones you've come up with in video form. So good job.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny because like I actually had to kind of butcher the review, and a lot of people were like, "This is probably your best analysis yet," and I'm like, I actually thought it was kind of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when you have your interview, which I've given some time for us to do next week, next week's going to be a premiere, and for the time slot of this podcast, I've collected our episodes where we talked about the video game crash, we talked about what comes after Nintendo Switch, and that is what we'll be playing as a premiere. So that frees us up time for you to ask me some questions about Nocturne.
Gotcha. And I was thinking Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, Thursday's our perfect time.
Okay.
So yeah, we were talking about Halo 2 last week, and yes, here's the big thing: is that there have been movies made about Halo for quite some time, and we're going to be talking about them today. It's been a busy last week, so I didn't watch all of them. I didn't get to finishing Nightfall. I did finish Forward Unto Dawn and Legends, but that was about it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've read the comics or novel about Reach partway through, so I feel that I'd be mostly familiar with what Halo: The Fall of Reach would be animated wise. And unlike our game reviews, there's copyright issues for the video footage from these movies.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, with Warner Brothers. For the Legends and for Microsoft Xbox copyright issues for the other ones. So, So yes, there were, and we're not including Red versus Blue, although I think Red versus Blue is pretty funny as a parody of playing Halo multiplayer. But
I was basically just quoting it the whole time my lady and I were watching Forward Unto Dawn, because he pulls up in the Warthog, and I was like, "Oh, a puma."
Yeah. And that's the cool part we're going to talk about, is that they actually made that Warthog for the movie. They made a vehicle that was built like a Warthog for the actual film, which I think is pretty cool.
I did appreciate the practical effects where they were. Yeah.
I mean, even the CGI was pretty good. You got to consider this was a $10 million budget series that was filmed in 1 month in Canada. Like they did all the whatever special effects work they did. They used the local university in Vancouver. They used some CGI from I forget what the effects studio is, and they all that for $10 million, plus the actors they hired for it.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And it was actually you've probably heard of Weta, right? They worked on the Avatar films. They did the CGI for Forward Unto Dawn.
Oh, okay.
But the first one, which I've seen most of these so far, was Halo Legends. So this is the one I actually have on home video. I have the DVD for it. I feel like I should have gotten the Blu-ray instead, but oh well. It still works. So this was a collaboration between a number of between animation studios from the United States, Germany, and Japan to make all these separate short animated episodes.
Yeah, you said this was basically Enter the Matrix.
Not you mean Animatrix? Yes, this is the Animatrix.
Yeah.
But I do love the Enter the Matrix video game. it just took me a lot of money to buy Enter the Matrix because it was years after the fact for the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's a lot less common when you get years later. Although I recommend waiting a few months after it released if you want to save money on buying a game. Yeah, don't buy it on launch because games on launch these days are, well, I'll stop this tangent. Okay.
All good. All good.
So Origins is after Halo 3 when Cortana is bored out of her mind, so she's just writing and narrating what happened that she found in the archives of the Halo. So this is how the Flood, the Halos are made, the Forerunners, the precursors, and so on. It's an origin story, 2 parts, 20 minutes combined, about a little more than 20 minutes, almost half hour for those 2 episodes, and I feel it's part of one of the best episodes because it's a blend of CGI and illustration, and they do it very well.
Okay.
How they blend the two. Now, this is so the order I show you right here is how it was ordered in the Blu-ray. So it's not that way on my DVD. That's the order of the episodes.
Okay.
But Odd One Out is the one that isn't really considered canon. It's more of a self-parody of Halo, where you have L337. No, not the Fem droid from Solo, but Leet is the Spartan that's a complete parody on Master Chief because he's incompetent but lucky.
Okay, so he's sort of like Domino from Marvel.
Domino, yeah, from Deadpool. Yeah, she is Marvel. I keep thinking Deadpool too because obviously she was in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so he's incompetent, but he survives because he's just ridiculously lucky.
Good parody on the lore accurate Halo Master Chief. Those videos are always crazy to see.
Yeah. So that is Halo Legends. We could talk again more about it later if you see it. And Halo Legends, the good thing is it's on YouTube as a free movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
So next one, Forward Unto Dawn. This is the one we actually got around to seeing completely.
Yeah, the effects and everything impressed me because I didn't for this age from 2012, they didn't look too bad. The acting was fine. I didn't expect the girl from Narnia. That one threw me off.
I was okay. I thought yeah, but I did enjoy parts of it at times. It felt slow, for the first half when they're at the academy.
Mm-hmm.
But it picked up in the second half when they finally, meet the Covenant. And
yeah, when because of how critical I'm at, I am, especially at this point in my life, I was just watching it and I would just pause it every 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just like, what's going on? This is ridiculous.
Right. It's
because
when
the
first half and it's slow, but But once they get into the second half where they're under attack, that's when the tone really picks up. That's
the tone shifts and the quality tanks.
Yeah.
Because there were so many moments where I was just like, stop talking, shut up, you're all dead, it's already over, there's no way this dude's not paying attention to them yapping and screaming in the room. And yeah, it was kind of frustrating. But at the end, there was also one little detail that just got under my skin, and I'm sure they just ran out of time on something, but Chief didn't have a neck guard. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
if you happen to catch this. He either had like nothing and they just painted his neck, or he had like super thin spandex because
yeah. So
he's
this,
like bent over. He's bent over. I think it's the friend that gets shot with a needler in the arm or in the leg,
oh,
and then he
right.
looks up and he's like, he's injured, and I was like, is that your jugular? Like,
Yeah, I was slightly confused when you found out um I guess it was I guess they didn't quite I guess they skipped around a bit when I found out the girl got shrapnel in her and she was gonna die and it was like, Wait, when did that happen?"
oh, when she got shot, I was confused about that too because I didn't see a needler, and all of a sudden she's got a shard in her, and she didn't pop like
I thought it
the
was
command girl.
shrapnel. I thought it was shrapnel because if that's the case, that's slightly realistic, I guess, because explosions do have shrapnel. Like if like when bullets hit things, you can have shattered bits or explosions. You can have shattered bits, but I don't know. I was a little confused.
Well, the so the way it happens is they're in the Puma and they're driving along, and you got Chief in the back. Also, I like you're absolutely right on the dude being Chief. It was awesome to see him being 7.5 feet tall or whatever he's supposed to be compared to the rest of the guys.
Right. Because
Because I'm glad they got that right.
Daniel Cudmore is like 6'10". He's huge. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you probably recognize him from the early Fox X-Men movies
yeah, the
with
X-Men. Yeah,
Colossus.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
But
mentioned
they
before, and
literally
I'm
took
glad.
so they took Dan, they had him get measured, and they did a 3D print for the helmet and armor plates to match up to his height.
Okay.
So that's how they made the armor suit. They didn't ask Stephen Downes, who does the voice of Chief in the games. They asked for Alexander Puccinelli.
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with him, but he was the actual voice in this case.
Gotcha. Well, nonetheless, so that situation, it's like they're in the Puma and they're driving, and they're all firing in the different directions, and then the main guy's trying to drive it, and I didn't recognize any needler. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but somehow she in the front seat underneath the armor, and then she ends up getting shot out of nowhere,
Right. I
and
mean, there
it didn't even.
it's true that you could have crossfire, but I don't know.
Yeah, and not only that, I was also confused because needlers explode, right? Like the
They
shell?
get yeah, the needle is a essentially a type of bullet with plasma inside of it that first embeds inside the target, then explodes. It's like an anti-tank artillery shell,
Okay,
except
because
smaller scale.
gotcha, because they during the invasion, which I thought was pretty well executed overall, since they all get annihilated. But the commanding officer, the girl that had the woman who hands him the get out
Yeah,
of jail free card,
she's
like she
Island
gets
Fern.
annihilated and then just pops, and I'm just like, oh, that's what those
Yeah,
do. And then you fast forward to
she's from the Netflix Marvel as Kingpin's wife, and she's also Superman's mom in Man of Steel.
oh,
Same
gotcha,
actor.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because she falls over with like a dozen needlers rounds in her, and then she explodes. And then you get fast forward to the end where Narnia chick got shot in the chest with a needler round, and she didn't pop. And I was like, oh, that's oddly inconsistent, but okay.
Yeah, I did feel that some parts did a better job than what you get in being convincing than the game mechanics. I mean, obviously you there wouldn't be much of a game if the elites didn't show their swords when they're camouflaged. But in the film, the convincing part was the elite turned off his energy sword when he was cloaked or camouflaged, so he could get up to people and take them out.
Hmm.
That and the detail of how he temporarily uncamouflaged when he stepped in the puddle of water.
There were a lot of really good little effects that added to everything overall. But there were some where it's just like we just don't have the budget. We just have to do what we have. Like
Right.
when when the guy hands Chief the frag grenade, and he just kind of like punches straight in and just clips through the chest of the oblique of the hunter, and I was just like, okay,
he put it in his back. I mean, and at that point, I'm wondering, okay, how much have they actually met the Covenant now? Because this is supposed to be when Lasky, who's the starship captain you run into at the beginning of Halo 4, he's supposed to be 20 years younger at that point.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to look at the timeline that they have it for Xbox, but so Chief is supposed to be 20 years younger, and they're probably first meeting the Covenant. So, how much would he know about a hunter in terms of stuffing a grenade up its back and run it and jumping off of it?
That is something that I was very confused by, because like my lady likes Halo, but she's not like super knowledgeable of it like I am with like World of Warcraft or something. I'm confused on the timeline because the opening made it seem like this was way further down the timeline, because it's supposed to be like before 4, but 4 is
okay
later in the series, like
early around the middle point where Cortana's talking to Chief when he's frozen. When they do the CGI Cortana, that's like in the present time. But the other part is supposed to be 20 years in the past, back when Lasky was still at the Naval Academy with the other cadet.
And so real quick, present time here is between is like right
Halo
before
3.
Halo. Okay. Okay. It's after 3. Okay. Thank you. I'm just trying to clarify this, because I was really lost in like some of the visual storytelling that they did in the opening.
Right.
Because I was like, why is Cortana here? Like, she's not supposed. She's dead, right?
Right. So Cortana's only a few years old. Because in hi Josh, how are you doing?
Welcome. How you doing?
So in Halo, like AIs only live to be less than 10 years old. They burn out. So Cortana.
Oh, okay.
Cortana went online, like literally, barely before combat evolved. Like that is like she's nearing the end of her life at the end of 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when she's talking about like I can't keep holding on, and this is the thing I dislike about 343 is that they totally went inconsistent and say, oh no, don't worry, Halo Cortana didn't get old and die. It's like, yeah, right. Stop giving me member berries.
Okay. And I don't hold this against the show. Like this is like just my lack of knowledge going into it. So I'm just confused by a lot of it, because I just don't know Halo.
Okay. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm not the most thorough person on it, but I at least tried to read some things about what I was going into first. But this is essentially what they released before Halo 4, earlier in 2012.
Okay.
So, but yeah, okay. So I'm going to correct this too. So Weta built the Warthog vehicle they used in the movie.
Yes.
That Legacy Effects did the CGI for Cortana and the other parts of the film. So that was, I got it mixed up. So Weta built the actual car they were driving around, and that Legacy Effects did the CGI. Okay. Now this Halo Nightfall, I'm only about halfway through it, so I come back to it later.
Sure.
But this is what they released before Halo 5. They wanted to make it as a start to the Halo series, but we all know how that got delayed, and then Paramount picked up the actual series years later. So this only ended up becoming a prelude to Halo 5, which I could spend a whole time talking about my beef with Halo 5 and how it seemed to contradict what came before.
Oh, don't you mean the greatest Spartan of all time, Locke?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, but this is where we introduced Locke, and you see he's Mike Coulter. You met from Luke Cage or from Men in
Mm,
Black 3. Yeah, he did Locke, but this is back when he's an intelligent work. Hey, Josh, good luck at your work. It's important, man. We'll have
yeah,
this as you can watch the live stream later, and this will be a premiere for the Halo things that I'll put together later. Okay.
yeah. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a good day.
So yeah, I mean, it's locked. It's locked, but I mean, the big thing to me is that they went back. Like they didn't let Cortana die. It's just like really, that's a tension killer. I mean, part of what made Halo 4 was Cortana was reaching the end of her life, and then they said, "Oh no, she's not really dead." Like, oh come on.
Mm. Yeah, because doesn't she go nuts at the end of 4?
She's going nuts because her hardware and her programming is degrading. AI
Yeah.
and Halo only have a limited life of around 7 to 10 years.
Hmm.
They have a very short life, and when they're reaching the end of their life, they're basically becoming insane.
Yeah, because she goes nuts and like summons this like fleet and like attacks everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Yeah, because I
And
remember my ex best friend is a huge Halo guy, and he's never returned a game before because he likes physical media as well. He actually returned Halo 4. He was like, you don't understand how bad it is. And I was like, oh, okay.
right, and I mean, and I do have Halo 4s for the Master Chief Collection, but just the fact that they brought back Cortana, it's like really, you just diffused the tragedy, and you diffused the tension that we had in 4. Like, what's going on?
Mm,
It's like it's like Uncle Rico from it's like Uncle Rico not letting go of the past.
okay.
Sorry, you probably don't know what I mean by Uncle Rico, do you?
Nope.
It's a random, relatively innocent teenage comedy called Napoleon Dynamite, set in Idaho. And Uncle Rico is the annoying uncle who can't get over the fact that he needs to find a different job because he wasn't going to make it into pro football. Anyway, that's Uncle Rico.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought you were referencing something in Halo. I was like, oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, so I remember when Napoleon Dynamite came out, and I never watched it. I had no interest.
it's fine. Not everyone would. But I made a joke about it this year when people asked me, it's like, who would I vote for? I voted for Pedro Sanchez because
Mm,
there did the class because he was in the Napoleon Dynamite. He's the class president at the high school, Pedro Sanchez. So that was my other joke.
gotcha. I do remember all those shirts.
So yeah, going into this, I'm part of the way through, and so far they found a piece of of installation 04, which is the rig you're on in Halo Combat Evolved. So, but
Okay.
and it's also weird because there's apparently some kind of virus that the Covenant made that doesn't kill Covenant species. So I don't know. I'm going to find out what the rest of it turns out to be as I finish it.
Okay.
Like the other ones, Nightfall is also available on YouTube, just like Forward Unto Dawn is.
Yeah, I really think that over like Christmas and whatnot, because I want to take a break around like the holidays and whatnot. I think around that time I'm gonna sit down with my lady and we're just gonna play Halo and figure out what's what. Because it's a series I've always like wanted to get into. I just haven't, have not had the time.
Don't you have the remastered edition? Because that's like all those games in one pack on Steam.
I do have the Halo Master Chief Collection, so
Yeah,
I can get through most of the series, thankfully.
I mean, there's camps in Halo fandom. There is the traditional fandom, and I'm one of them. I'm going to admit it right now that I prefer 1 to 3 and Reach as a prequel. Reach because because it has the multiplayer mode called survival, where it's you as the Spartans against wave after wave of Covenant soldiers to see how long you survive. It's one of those things where you're eventually going to win, but it's to see how long you can hold out before you finally are defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Spartans were before Halo Combat evolved.
Okay.
So that's what Reach has. But so far, yeah, I'm a little bit dulled on Nightfall.
Yeah, and maybe I'll also try to make time for that. But I'm adding an awful lot to my plate, especially for next year. So. All right, premiere of 3 game episodes. That's good.
Yep. So it's going to go over video game focused episodes. So we talked about how they adapted video games to TV and movies, which I really enjoyed that day. Video Game Crash, the sequel, and we responded to that video by Tencent. And there's what we think will happen after the Nintendo Switch. So all 3 of these will be on premiere next Thursday instead of an actual live stream. We're going to be recording I'm going to be recording an interview with Albeleo, so it's going to be on your channel after you've edited it and gotten the final product out.
Yes, it'll be fun. I think we could probably get another bingo if we made a bingo card.
I think so too. So far, the whatever happened to Castlevania, where I put all of our episodes for that together, all 3, that's been like it's getting closer and closer to 1K views without any promotion. So it's been our most successful one on this podcast so far. I will be making a trailer for this podcast series, like a short video, just saying, "Hey, here it is." So hopefully, some more people can go see the podcast episodes and they'll know they're out there. Because the biggest thing against seeing it is you don't know what's happening. I mean,
Agreed.
That's one of the biggest problems Disney has. There's been so many movies like Onward or Strange World, and I'm not even going to go into what I disagree about that movie. But the big thing going against those, they didn't try to advertise them. They didn't try very hard, and if people don't know, they don't show.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with YouTube is that trying to gain any ground, even live streaming, the recommendation system is atrocious. It seems like things are changing, but it's all speculation. I don't know.
Well, what I can see is that I realize that you can't really get seen without making shorts.
You have to do it. Shorts are a nightmare to keep up with.
And the other one. So that's what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make short episodes saying, "Hey, this podcast is up. Come see it." Because if people don't know, like I said, they don't know, they don't show. So that should be a good part. So we won't be live next Thursday, but we will be having a premiere of our video game episodes for the Switch, Video Game Crash, and video game adaptations on film. After the new year, I was thinking of doing more video game adaptations on film for an episode. That should be pretty fun. And the first film review episode will be next year in January with Whatever Happened to Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
Popular vote.
Gives me a reason to sit back down and watch them both.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually having fun watching our own episode of Whatever Happened to Castlevania, where I put all three together. It's amusing. I've never thought I'd be as amused with my own work, with our work, but I was. So next Thursday, it's going to be a premiere, and we'll see you then. Same time, same channel.
Yep, it'll be good. It'll be a long conversation. I hope you're ready.
All right. So I'll be playing live with Symphony of the Night, and congratulations on finishing the original Fallout.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Next.
I really wanted to get through it. I was so tired of like running around and doing nothing in cities.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It takes a lot more preparation to get to the master. Either you need to level up so that you have the perk that makes you unaffected by his mental telepathic abilities, or you find the hidden bomb underneath the without meeting him. That one's crazy.
There's a bomb?
Yes. There's a reference to Planet of the Apes. You know, Planet of the Apes 2, where they had the organ, the musical organ that sets off a bomb. Okay. They have a similar joke reference to Planet of the Apes, where there's a bomb in the vault with the master, and you can go and find the bomb. It's in a secret location and set off the detonation sequence. You just have to run like crazy so that you don't die in the explosion.
Oh, that's funny. No, because I don't know if I don't know if you happen to have seen it. I went up there to talk to Morpheus in the tower, and then I just happened to stumble upon him taking me down to the master, and I'm just in front of him, and I'm like, oh, like I skipped like 7 steps. Yeah, that was that caught me a little off guard. Like I knew the master existed, but I didn't know what he looked like. Because I was going through and like after the Fallout series, I was just watching lore videos, and more kept discussing the master, and I didn't get around to looking at what the master was specifically. So I didn't have that spoiled for me. I just knew he was down there somewhere. I just had to get to him. So that was interesting. I thought that was actually really, really cool. But yeah, no, I didn't know where I was going when I was trying to haul ass out of there. So like everything was blind. I'm like,
That was me too, like 10 years ago, when I decided, okay, I want to play the first Fallout in the series. I want to see exactly what it was all about. And right now I'm trying to figure out how to get the old Fallout 1 and 2 running on my PC again. I'd probably have to set it to emulate Windows 7, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, for turn-based, it's amazing what they did back in 1994, 95, 96 with that claymation they used to build those animated faces in the dialogue. I'm not sure how many of their models they still even have, but Timothy Kane, he was the producer for the first Fallout game. He put up his own channel. He has his own YouTube channel where he talks about the making of the Fallout games, and he has some pretty interesting episodes. So I'll leave a link to Timothy Kane in the description. Sure. You know, I would say something about Chris Avallone, but he doesn't really talk much. I mean, obviously he had other issues later, but he hasn't really left videos out to the extent that Kane has. Even though he was the producer for 2 Fallout games, both Fallout 2 and New Vegas.
Okay.
So
neat.
I think I'll be catching you on Friday with whatever you have going live. And
I did buy the Dominus collection, and I will be jumping into Order of Ecclesia.
Oh, good.
So this will be a whole new Castlevania, since I haven't done this or Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm part way through order, and I did make a streaming screen, which is pretty interesting. I'll get back to it eventually, but I'm mostly focused on Skies of Arcadia and Symphony right now. And of course, celebrate Lord of the Rings. December is me playing Two Towers and Return of the King,
Mhm.
more or less.
I'm dreading War of the Rohirrim.
I have dread, but at the same time, it's a weird feeling. Like it's that weird feeling where I just like I don't feel hurt anymore. I'm just enjoying things that I missed in the past. So I decided to go catch up to things that are missed in the past. And thankfully, because of Steam and GOG, I can catch a lot of games that I missed or didn't finish in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so more or less, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful time with this one. We'll be premiering next week. It will still be the premiere, but we'll be working on an interview for Albeleo's channel, and it should be good.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you can also catch Albeleo Friday for playing more Castlevania, or tomorrow because that is Friday, and it should be great.
Yeah,
Have a good
and
night.
I will have the 6th episode of Rings of Power up as well.
Oh, even better.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a longer one.
All right. Well, everyone, have a nice day, and we'll see you next week with our premiere.
Yep. Have a good day, everyone.